Hi, current and future homeowners. My name is Colin Boyer, your Pennsylvania and Maryland Realtor, and today I wanted to talk to you guys about ways to save money when purchasing a home. So I have a short list of a few ways to save money when you're going to purchase a home. A few of them are ways to really work through your mortgage. The other ways are ways if you're really trying to be strategic to save money and you're looking for homes that have been sitting on a bit longer that you know you can negotiate for. The first way to save money, and this is more so upfront money because this is going to affect your mortgage payment when you're purchasing a home. It's going to take it up a little bit higher because you'll have a tiny bit higher interest rate, but you can avoid paying for points on your mortgage. Avoiding paying for points, what it looks like is talking to your lender and saying, hey, I do not want to pay any discount points on my mortgage. I know it's going to increase my interest rate some, but can you get rid of those so I can save some money up front and I'll pay a little bit more per month because we're really tight on cash, or we just don't want to put the cash down. We'd rather keep it in our bank account. We'll be able to save that for a rainy day or repairs or furniture or whatever that is so that you can save some money there for closing. So again, going to give you a smaller increase on your monthly payment, but you're going to be able to save some more money up front if you're tight on the closing costs or you want to save some cash. The next way is grants, and a lot of people think grants are only for first-time home buyers. That is just not the case. They're titled first-time home buyer grants, but what first-time home buyer means in the real estate world and mainly the mortgage lender world is you have not owned a primary residence for 3 years or more. So if you owned a house 8 years ago, 4 years ago, 3 years and 2 days ago, you have not owned one since that time frame has passed, you can work on seeing if you can get a grant. Now, there's a bunch of grants out there. They do all typically follow a similar system. Is you can't make too much money, you have to make enough money, you can't have too low of an interest rate, XYZ. There's a bunch of different stuff, but these grants are fantastic. Some of them are like free money. Some of them, if you sell prior to 10 years, you do have to pay that money back. So they're great options. And the best way to do it is talking with a local lender, because most of these national mortgage lenders kind of think, if you've ever seen an ad for them on TV or the Super Bowl or anything like that, you're probably not going to be able to get a grant through them or a hyper local grant to your area, because a lot of them are just national and they try and do the easier loans. So if you're able to get a grant, take advantage of it if it makes sense and if it's something you're going to be in your home for a good bit, or something that you don't have to pay anything back if you sell your home, because you can save anywhere from like 2% of the purchase price. So $2,000 on $100,000 to 5%, $5,000 on every $100,000 that you spend. So it can be a huge cost savings for you. The next option is a lender credit. This one probably isn't going to be quite as much as the previous two, but it is still going to affect your interest rate some. It is going to bump it up. What a lender credit is, they take your interest rate up a tiny bit. They make a little bit more money on the back end when they sell your loan, and you get a little bit of money as a credit for your closing costs. So it can be nice because you have a little bit less cash, but again, you're getting a bit of an increase on your interest rate. Super easy to ask for those. Just call your lender or text your lender and say, hey, can we get a lender credit? And you bump up our interest rate sums, so you bring a little bit less cash to the table. Now I want to move on more so to options that you can negotiate within your contract if it's a property that you're really not competing with other people on. So the first one is really the easiest one to structure, is seller closing costs. Pretty much what you're doing is you have your offer price and then you're asking them to cover some or all of your closing costs. When I say some or all, that does not talk about your down payment. Down payment is a different option. You can loop those together with grants, so that gets a little bit trickier. But if just looking at closing costs, you can ask the seller to cover a portion of your closing costs. And the reason I say it's tougher to do that when you're competing is because it's coming from the net sale price from the seller. So you're taking money out of their pocket pretty much, and it's basically equating to a lower sale price. So it's really only things that have been sitting on the market for a bit or something where the property doesn't have any other offers. Next is one where if you can't get a full seller assist, or maybe you're trying to squeeze a little bit more out, is you can ask the seller to cover your percentage of the transfer tax. In Pennsylvania, it's 2% transfer tax, one on the buy side, one on the sell side. So you can see if maybe the seller would be willing to cover your side as well, and they pay the 1% transfer tax for you, so they're paying both, and it being 2% for them. So again, thinking about every $100,000, that's $1,000. Next one is kind of on the agent side, where if you are responsible for any percentage of your agent's commission or an admin fee or anything like that, you can talk to your agent and say, hey, can we ask the seller to cover your full commission so we don't have to come out of pocket anything there? And a lot of the times, again, with the new regulations that happened last August of 2024, that's a conversation that can be had, especially when you're not competing or anything like that on a property, is you can ask the seller to cover your agent's full amount so you're not coming additional money out of pocket with something that you're purchasing aside from closing costs and stuff like that that you were already calculating. And the last one, it might sound silly, but we've done it before because nowadays everything is expensive, is asking and negotiating for all of the appliances. Appliances do not always come with the property. Sometimes you will even see maybe they're taking washer, dryer, and the fridge. Maybe they're just taking the fridge and leaving the washer and dryer. A lot of the times, like the dishwasher and the stove and stuff like that are staying because they're physically attached and built within the property, built within the kitchen itself, and hard to remove. So if you want to avoid whatever fridges are, $1,000, $2,000, $3,000, depending on how fancy you go, same thing for washer and dryer, you can negotiate for those to remain with the sale as well. I know these are really not like anything super special, especially if you've bought a home before or if you have been researching a good bit, but sometimes the simple things are the best things, and really realizing there's no magical, mystical way to save money when purchasing a home. There are some really more in-depth things, but it gets very complicated, and it's more so on the lending side on ways to save money. So thank you guys so much for watching. If we can help you buy, sell, invest, build, whatever that is in this area, South Central Pennsylvania, Northern Maryland, feel free to reach out to me. My phone number and email are on the screen and in the description. And if you want the easiest way to get in touch with me, go to Collinboyer.net, fill out the form to get in touch, and we can schedule a phone call or we can schedule a Zoom meeting. Very happy to help you guys. Thank you again for watching. And don't forget to like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton, gets me out to more people, and gets this information in front of people that are looking for the same type of information. So thank you, and see you guys on the next one.